This image of a jacket right here, this YouTube thumbnail image, and this image of a backpack have not been taken by a photographer, have not passed by any professional studio, and they haven't been modified in any way by Photoshop or anything else. They've been generated with AI using GPT Image 2, OpenAI's latest image generation model that is shocking the industry. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to access GPT Image 2, how to use it correctly, and we're going to put it to the test. We're actually going to compare, is it as good as they say? Because if you check out this comparison right here that you can see in your screen, apparently it's ranked as the best. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it to the test and make it compete against the previous king, which was Nano Banana by Gemini. We're going to be doing 9 different tests so that you can see different examples of what can be done with these models and which one gives better results, GPT Image 2 or Nano Banana. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. First of all, how do we access GPT Image 2? Well, the cool thing is it is completely integrated into ChatGPT. So if you just go to Google and access ChatGPT as you normally would, perfect. You're going to log into your account. If you have one already, then you're good to go. If not, you can create a free one using any Gmail address. And what you're going to do is click on this plus right here, click on Create Image. And just like that, you are now using GPT Image 2. Now, a few things to mention. Here's where you're going to input your prompt, meaning the instruction that you're going to give the model in order to generate your image. And we have a few new features that are quite cool. For instance, we now finally have the aspect ratio, meaning you can choose the size of your image. In the past, a lot of other competitors had this feature. For example, Midjourney, for example, Runway, and many, many more. ChatGPT, for some reason, did not give us this functionality where we could just click, let's say I want a landscape picture, I could just click like that, and my aspect ratio is now set. Whatever prompt I put, the image is going to come out in this format. So that is great. We also have the styles. We did have them before, but in a less accessible manner. Here's very simple. And what styles are is, let's imagine that I want, for example, a cartoon. Well, I could just click here on retro cartoon, and there we go. Our prompt is going to be already generated. We can now make a few changes on what we want done, just to match our picture. For example, if we don't want let's say cat, as we could see before, we could change it for, let's say, a dog in our prompt. But most of the prompt is already been written for us, which is quite convenient. And then we can also pick our model. We can either use a more instant model, so a quick response without much processing, or we can use a thinking model that actually uses reasoning. So our prompt, it's going to take longer to generate a result, but the quality is going to be much, much better. Okay, so this is pretty much how we use it and how we access it. So now that we understand this, now that everyone knows how to access the model and try it for themselves, we're going to start with our 9 different tests to see which one's better. ChatGPT Image 2 or Nano Banana by Google's Gemini. So for our first test, we're going to be making an ultra-realistic portrait. So what we've asked, this is the prompt that we've used, we want a 40-year-old female working in marketing in a New York style office with natural lighting in a 9:16 aspect ratio. I accidentally wrote that twice. That's okay. And this is the result that we got. Honestly, I think it looks very realistic. Let's zoom in so we can see a bit better. You could tell that this has been taken by a professional photographer in all honesty. I think the level of detail is fantastic. The lighting is perfectly, you can see it comes from the window. So this side of the image is darker. Her skin is clearer here. Super realistic. I'm very happy with this result. So excellent when it comes to a professional picture. When it comes to Nano Banana Pro, we use the exact same prompt. And this is the result that we got, which I must say is also very good. She did make the woman look a bit older, different understandings of the age group. I think that both characters could pass as a 40-year-old woman, so I think they've both done a good job. I also like the way the lighting is here, but I must say that to me, GPT Image 2 does look slightly more realistic. I'd say that the results are good on both models, but if I had to pick, I'm going to stay with GPT Image 2 for this particular example. Now, moving on to test number 2. Let's imagine that we have a YouTube channel. For instance, we have one, and you want to create a thumbnail, which is basically the picture that you see before you click on a video. It's a summary of what you can expect in the video. Highly important when it comes to YouTube strategy. So let's imagine that we want to make a professional thumbnail comparing GPT Image 2 with Nano Banana Pro with Nano Banana 2. So we want a thumbnail that divides the picture in 3 different elements showing all 3 competitors and the image is going to say, and the image has some text saying, hey, who's the new king of image generation in AI? Okay, so this is the prompt that we are using. And let's zoom out. Here is the result, which I must say, guys, I was very pleasantly surprised. I think this is a great thumbnail. I think that this on a YouTube video would work very, very well and could get someone very good results. And this is amazing because now any YouTuber, regardless of whether they are a small YouTuber and don't have a team, they can now maybe compete with a bigger YouTuber who does have a team of designers making different content. I think that the level of detail is great. I really like this little animation here of lighting under the word king. I just like the way they've honestly made the picture, so I'm very happy with it. Now, let's compare it with Nano Banana Pro. And here's the image which we got, which, to be honest with you guys, I'm not too pleasant with. I don't think this is as nice. I think it looks a lot more AI-like. If someone says, hey, is this AI? You're going to say yes, 100%. If someone shows you this, you could think a designer has done this in any professional application. So in this test, I'm going to give the point to GPT Image 2. I do think it has made a better job when it comes to this. Moving on to test number 3, we're going to be making a professional infographic for LinkedIn. So same theme as before, we're comparing these 3 different models, GPT Image 2, Nano Banana Pro, and Nano Banana 2. And we've asked for a realistic, serious, formal infographic for LinkedIn, okay? And what's interesting about this, before I show you the results, well, you can see the results anyways, but before we focus on the results, I want to show you this, thought for 2 minutes and 25 seconds. So this is what I was referring before when we're using that thinking model. So it took time to understand our prompt, research the information, come up with a good comparison, and then it generated the image, which I think is very powerful because we're mixing a lot of things in one prompt without having to, research the information, bring it in, then make our prompt, and then design. It's all been combined and just done in 2 minutes and 25 seconds with this model, which I think is fantastic. Let's open up the infographic, and I think it honestly looks pretty good. Which AI model fits your work? ChatGPT Images, small mistake here, and this is one thing I was going to say. In the past, image generation models have struggled a lot with generating text. Why? Because they don't really generate text per se. They generate images and they go pixel by pixel. So they don't really understand what text is when we're using the image generation models, okay? They've been lots of advancements when it comes to these models to improve this, but we still get these little mistakes where instead of saying ChatGPT Image 2, it saw that there's a 2 and it made it plural, images. Still, I can say that the text looks very realistic. We don't have any weird characters that I can see. And I like the different comparisons, right? We have realism, text and images, research and web info, speed, etc. Okay, so I think it's a very good comparison. I think someone could post this on LinkedIn and it would look professional. It would look like a post that actually adds value. And it was made in just 2.5 minutes, which I think is great. Let's compare now with Nano Banana using the exact same prompt. And honestly, while I do think that the image is good, I prefer the design, honestly, when it comes to GPT Image 2. Still, I think this is quite good. I like the little infographics that they made here at the top. I also like that in realism, they actually added a picture. That's nice. But I prefer the design. I think it's more clean in GPT Image 2. Still, I would say this is another one of those tests where the results are quite equal. But if I had to pick, I would go with GPT Image 2. Moving on now to test number 4. We're going to be making a hero advertisement. So basically a very cinematic, ultra realistic image for one key product. That's going to be our hero. In this case, we are making up a fake brand called Apex Athletics, and they have a new line called Urban Motion. And we want basically a jacket for the rain, for working out, to be worn, in an urban context. We're going to be launching it at $99, and we want a QR code that someone can scan and access the product. Okay, so this is basically what we've asked for. And when it comes to the result, I have to say, guys, I'm very, very impressed. Look at the design of the jacket. You can also see the background. We have the logo in the building. And then, of course, here in the jacket, again, consistency is great. And this is something that AI models have struggled with a lot in the past, where the logo could be perfect here, but then it could be horrible in the background and not the exact same thing here. We can see very good consistency. Once again, I really like these little pieces of information about the product. Brands do this nowadays, right? The main functionalities of the product are here. The drops of rain look amazing. And honestly, I think this is a very cool jacket. I would even consider buying it myself. So very, very happy with this. Let's see what Nano Banana did. So again, not bad at all. But if I had to pick, honestly, I prefer the other image that was generated. In this case, they've decided to add a person, which Not bad, but I can see that some of these features do look a bit fake. Also, I think the running style is a bit forced. So still not bad at all. But honestly, I do think that GPT Image 2 is going to take this one as well. Now, moving on to test number 5. What we're going to do is work with the exact same image that we have, but make a small adjustment, change the lighting. And again, we're doing this because one thing that models have struggled with a lot in the past is when you take an image, you have an image that you already like, and you say, hey, I want to make this small change. And then it ruins the complete picture and makes something super different. So we're basically going to ask, let's check out the prompt that we've used. We're going to ask, take the product from the image above, and I want you to change the lighting, transform it from daytime studio into nighttime scene. To be fair, we already had a bit of darkness here in the past, but now we've asked for more night, not just dark, we want nighttime. So let's check out the result. We can see how it takes the exact same picture. It now has these artificial lights showing us it's nighttime, and everything else looks exactly the same. And this is brilliant, guys, because like I've said, in the past, this has been a huge struggle where you would try to edit an image and end up with something completely different. And it was very frustrating because you had an image that was 90% like what you wanted, and that final 10% you just couldn't get it. Let's check now with Nano Banana Pro. And not much change, to be honest. You can see here it's a bit lighter. Here it is darker. So I will give this as well to Nano Banana. They have done a very good job with image consistency. So we have the exact same guy in the exact same position. Everything else is the same. The lighting has changed. So actually, when it comes to these tests, both of them have done amazing. But when it comes to the design and the aesthetics, I still prefer GPT Image 2. Moving on to test number 6, we're going to be making multiple ad variations. So let's imagine we own this brand. We really like the product. We want to do some advertisements on Instagram, on Facebook. So we need different images, right? We need different variations to make these advertisements. So we've asked for 6 square images, so 1 by 1 size, the aspect ratio. And yeah, we're just giving it a prompt saying I want 6 different variations. And here we have it. First of all, I really like to say that the image is great. The product looks exactly the same. The logo is perfect. And I think this looks amazing. Also, I'm liking that shop now call to action because this is exactly what we're trying to do. But I also like, guys, this display, how we have here the different images and we can just click through them one by one. So if I click it here, we have the same price as before. And honestly, guys, these images look incredible. I really, really like it. And it's amazing how with just one simple prompt, oh, look at this. We even have like a testimonial kind of style. Best jacket I've worn in the city. Review from Jordan. Incredible, guys. I must say that this is amazing. And as a person and as a company that has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not more, on different ads on YouTube, Meta, etc., being able to make such high quality ads with a simple prompt in about 2 minutes is mind-blowing. The potential here is huge, and you guys need to learn how to do this, which thanks to this video you are, so that you can have access to these capabilities as well. Now, let's check what Nano Banana did for us. A bit different, it just combined them all 6, but hey, we could come in and crop them, that's fine. This one's not bad, pure function, Apex Athletics, Elite Performance, not bad. This one I'm not a fan of, it's not really showing the product. We also have a review kind of style, I like that one. Okay, Mark, Marathon Runner, this one's not bad at all. This one's also quite cool, and this one also looks good. So not bad at all, but I must say that I prefer the ultra realism and the colors and the image and the lighting in the image, excuse me, from GPT-2. So very good results as well from Nano Banana. I don't want to speak badly of this tool because it is great, but I have to say that GPT Image 2 for me is being superior for now. Now, test number 7, we're going to be creating a catalog. So we're going to make a fictitious catalog of 6 products, excuse me, from Apex Athletics. We're going to be showing a jacket, pants, a hoodie, a vest, just different accessories from different price points. And we want not just the design of the products, but we also want the design, the interface of what the catalog would look like on our e-commerce store. So this is the prompt we've used, and let's go check out the results. Here we have them. I think this looks incredible. So we have a very realistic looking e-commerce. So we have our logo here, performance essentials, free shipping, performance guarantee, sign into your account. The products look great. They're all following the same branding. They all have the same logos. The price ranges are there, and it looks amazing. And what's cool, guys, is you could, for instance, take this screenshot, give it to Claude, and code this yourself so that you could actually end up having this exact same e-commerce site. So the potential here, guys, is huge. And like I said, this took nothing. It took like a minute and 20 seconds to generate all of this, which again, mind-blowing. Now, let's check out how Nano Banana did. And honestly, in this case, I must say that the colors are all over the place. It's not really following the brand. The text here is cut, same here. Not the biggest fan. I don't think it did a very good job when it comes to this. So definitely, once again, the point is going to go for GPT Image 2. Now, moving on to test number 8. We're going to be making an 8-frame storyboard. So we've asked for one character, 42-year-old male, to be a professional in the city moving through while it's raining, and we want 8 different shots just of the person using the brand, okay? Again, here what we're trying to test is that consistency of the brand and the person and the rain in different contexts to see what it looks like. So it took 1 minute and 40 seconds, as we can see here, and the results, I think, look quite good. I think you can clearly tell it's the same person in the pictures. I think the image is perfect. The jacket also looks incredible. And I'm a big fan, not gonna lie. It describes the scenes. I think the results here, guys, are great. Here, once again, is where you can see that these complex tasks are what Nano Banana falls a bit behind of. It doesn't look realistic at all. You do see the realism, but again, where is the branding? Where is the product? Doesn't make much sense, unfortunately. So here, definitely, Nano Banana did not perform well. GPT Image 2 made a very, very good job. And finally, guys, last test that we're going to do is we're going to try to replace the product somewhere else or change the background. So in this case, we're going to take a different product, one of the backpacks from the brand, and we're going to ask for the backpack to be placed in a co-working space in a New York style office. So here is the prompt that we used, and the result is right here. We can see we have the exact same logo, Apex Athletics. It's also added a bottle. We have here a MacBook. Although I can tell there's a small error here. This is usually not on the side. It's usually here on the opening of the laptop. So this is a small mistake. See, you can see how these images generate from scratch. So they sometimes make mistakes. Everything else, honestly, looks very impressive. So yeah, I think this is the Chrysler building, if I'm not mistaken. In the background, we do have that co-working space. I also like how it's a bit blurry in the background. So the main concept here, the clear hero of the image are the products, specifically the backpack, but also a bit the bottle. So I'm liking that. Not perfect, but very good job. I think we could make a small iteration and change this little mistake that most people, I think, would have missed. Then when it comes to Nano Banana, not bad at all. Not bad at all. We have the Chrysler, so it did get that New York style. The laptop is correct. They actually have it in the right opening. Here it's made, got a different brand, unfortunately, in the bottle, so that's not really what I wanted. And here it's changed the logo a bit, so we are lacking a bit of that consistency, but still relatively realistic. I think that excluding the logo, the backpack does look real, and the co-working space does also feel real. But still, if I had to pick, I'm gonna go with GPT Image 2. Okay, guys, and that's the end of the video. In this video, you learned how to access GPT Image 2, and we put it to the test so that you can see what it can do and what it does better than its previous successor. Now, if you've enjoyed this video and you want to learn more, I have 2 things for you. Number 1 is you can subscribe, and we're going to be posting at least 2 videos a week so that you can continue learning. And on top of that, we host free live classes. You have the information in the description below where you can sign up completely for free and you can access these classes with me. Again, completely for free. Hope to see you there, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Take care.